Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm Nancy Joy. It's a big week coming up. It's the week, this Wednesday is the 12-12-12 energy that we've all been talking about, leading up to 10 days later, of course, December 21st, 2012. There's been a flurry of activity all over the internet. Great articles, everybody's point of view, everybody's asking me in sessions, etc., what to expect, what's it going to be like. And as excited as I feel and the energy that I feel, and it's, as I said a couple of weeks ago, something great's happening and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But with the approach of 12-12-12 and what that is, I'm getting clearer, and at least to this place, I have something I really want to share with all of you so you can take it into your hearts and activate it in whatever way you see fit on Wednesday, which is 12-12-12. I read it. My friend Bonnie Ogren sent me this very interesting article, and among other things, this woman, Kaylin Castle, quoted out of the Bible. I'm not particularly Bible-y, but I have studied it in an organic sense. And she quotes Corinthians about this time frame. And listen to this first, and then I'll tell you about the reaction. This is from Corinthians 15:52 from the King James Bible. In a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we will be changed. Metaphorical, sure, but the part that got me is in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye. And that's what I feel this time frame is about. It's about a shift in frequency and vibration and consciousness. And there are many reasons given for it, and they're all probably valid and true, or none of them are, and in a sense, it really doesn't matter. For example, we talked about last week the timelines, and they're intersecting and creating a new timeline, the zero timeline. We've talked about Daniel's article with the sun is actually going to change from being one type of sun to being another, and while it's amping up for that, the actual shift to a more intense, brighter light is going to happen in a flash. Go dark, go light again. There also, Trumbull talks about the zero magnetics of the planet. There have been so many Nibiru returning and what that's going to do at that exact moment and what that means to everybody. And the most interesting one was the one I read, and it seems right to me, where all the time travelers who travel the timelines have said they can't go past December 21st, 2012. The timelines do stop there. So how fascinating is that? So all that's true, but what we really need to tap into as we venture forth and use this time as the best we can is to understand, and that's why I found this Corinthians quote so amazing. What I feel, what I have always felt, what Ezekiel has told me is going to happen at this time is that every human being consciousness is going to shift. Not all to the same degree, of course, to whatever degree you're asleep or awake. But to me, when the Bible says in that the trumpet will sound and the dead will be raised incorruptible and we will be changed. The dead meaning asleep. We're all to a certain way still asleep, no matter how awake we think we are. So there's different degrees of asleep or awake. But let's just use the terminology, a trumpet sounds, something happens, there's a shift, there's a change. And in the twinkle of an eye, everyone starts to perceive their reality through a higher vibrational level of consciousness, to whatever degree that is for them. So, you say, is this going to change things immediately? When this happens, will we know it? Will we all know we're thinking and feeling differently? Well, to some degree we do already, but no, I don't believe it's going to be this instantaneous thing, but we will instantly see the results on the 3D outside in our lives and within ourselves of every human consciousness changing to some degree the way they perceive, take in, and react to the world. And what way will that be? It'll be through their hearts and minds becoming integrated into compassion and into love, viewing everything that is experienced through that filter. And the exact nanosecond that everyone on earth even has one thought in this new level of consciousness changes everything right there. Yes, timelines and intensity of the earth and Nibiru and magnetics and yeah, all may be true, maybe Mayan calendar, the whole bit, but what's the real deal? And to me, as I sit through everything, this is the real deal. And I find it really exciting. And so I am approaching personally these 2 days, but let's talk today about the 12-12-12 because it's Wednesday. I am planning to spend a lot of this day and especially be there at noon with some close friends at a harvest preserve in Iowa City, Iowa, where it's this beautiful landscape of ponds and hills and woods and prairie. And on that landscape, these wonderful people have brought from all over the world, for various reasons, rescuing them, so to speak, sacred stones that were going to be thrown into the ocean. So there's circle standing stones, beautiful statues, religious symbols in stone. They're placed all over with benches and pathways in this very lovely setting. So I plan to be there with a group of friends connecting, especially between noon our time, wherever noon is for you, and 12 minutes after, with all the circles of the light all over the world in joy and in awakening and in my heart and just responding to that vibration in any way that comes to me. I think it will be a powerful time. You know, it's always powerful, and the circles of light all over the world since Harmonic Convergence really have changed this world. If you really think of it, it's since Harmonic Convergence in 1987 when people really did wake up. They started looking about their feelings, why they feel this way, what is God really, what's inside of them. They started exploring things that were new frontiers and had never really been that explored before, and look at the fields that have opened. So this is truly exciting when we think that our reality is going to change. And how I'm going to sum this up short and sweet, whatever you do this day, please spend some time either connecting with friends or a circle within yourself at wherever noon to 12 minutes after noon is, and it's a wave going around the planet, and connect to this awakening, to this in the blink of an eye. And feel the vibration and hold that space in your heart. And that's the magic. That's the magic that's changing everything. And even people that are going to be at their desk working totally unconscious of this or asleep on the other side of the world are changed by it in that moment, in the blink of an eye. So, woo, talk about a polar shift, right? Can you imagine the change in the world when everyone starts perceiving, even for 1 nanosecond, of things through compassion and love, through the different frequency? It's kind of like, and here's how I end the reflection. It's like we've created this wormhole through our consciousness, and we begin to shoot through it on 12-12-12 and out the other side, perhaps on December 21st, although those are just markers. And in the blink of an eye, we perceive everything differently. So in the blink of an eye, everything is different. And so to whatever degree you experience that, I know some will wake up and say, see, nothing happened. And others will wake up and feel it. But eventually, even those that say, see, nothing happened, are already responding to life through the new vibration of the heart-mind integration and the unity consciousness. So have a terrific 12-12-12 week. And we'll be back with you next week. Bye.